Arizona is saying we're just trying to supplement what the federal government is doing because it isn't doing enough in Arizona. And they say that the federal argument here that this will overwhelm the system just shows that Arizona is right.
All right. Thank you very much, Pete. So this is the question. Should the federal government be challenging this law? Here to talk about it, Michael Wilds, an immigration attorney and former federal prosecutor. Also here, Republican State Senator from Arizona, Russell Pearce. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. And Senator, let me start with you. You heard the main argument. This is a federal issue. As Pete put it, we're king of the hill in this area. Your reaction to the Department of Justice's plans?
Well, clearly, this is pretty outrageous. There has never been a case of preemption of the states have inherent authority, inherent responsibility to enforce these laws. The 5th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th Circuit Courts have ruled. Mueller versus Mean and the United States Supreme Court has ruled. This is outrageous. It's insulting to everybody. Those are our citizens, and yet we've got an administration that sides with the terrorists more than Arizona. Rob Krantz was murdered right during the debate of 1070. We have 12 Phoenix police officers killed and maimed by illegal aliens. Phoenix #2 in the world in kidnapping, and yet they side with lawbreakers over law keepers. It's insulting to the Arizona people. There has never been a case. The case in Illinois, they should have sued. They were not enforcing the law that they had the right to enforce. It's a felony to harm. And they were saying they were standing on the side of illegal employers, profits over patriotism, instead of on the side of citizens.
Let me ask
this is a different issue. We have authority, and we're going to win. Because we're getting into a lot of different
issues here. Let me stick to this one issue. And he does have a lot of facts at his fingertips, Mr. Wild.
He
calls it insulting. He calls it outrageous. Right. Does DOJ have a case constitutionally?
Let's put some more facts on the table. Simply put, there are 1 million entries into this country in over 300 ports a day. There are only 7,000 ICE agents and about 238 judges, and they hope to have 280 within a few months. Let's cut down to the chase.
Isn't that part of their argument? The feds don't have the resources, so we'll do it.
The gentleman in the state of Arizona are a symptom of the problem, but he ought to be ashamed of himself for making it worse than it is, because this is a technicolor standard of law. What's going to end up happening here right now, I'm a former elected official myself. You can pander as much as you want, but the bottom line is that you're now making every foreigner look like a criminal. And we are a nation of immigrants. Years ago, your grandparents and my grandparents would not qualify for admission to this country. And if we don't fix this properly, and if we get into the technicolor standard, if we start racial profiling, if we start carding people, we are not a foreign state that does that, sir, and this is not an appropriate law. It is the federal government. We are the United States. We are required to act in unison, and if there's a break in the link,
Senator, this is nothing more than racial profiling.
Can I respond? Can I respond? That is so outrageous. First of all, the federal law doesn't prohibit that. Arizona law does. Arizona law says you can't use racism.
Arizona has no right to use immigration.
You know, first of all,
you don't have enough handcuffs or airplanes to remove these people.
Hey, let me talk, because you put out false information. You're on the side of illegals. First of all,
I guess I'm a criminal
too. No respect for the jobs laws for, you know.
That's right. I'm a former federal prosecutor. I'm a former mayor, and I have no respect for the law.
You know what?
Well, why don't you put your white sheet back on and go back to Arizona, sir, because this country doesn't have room for you.
All right, we're going to let it.
Some of us stand up for America instead of the illegals. Some of us care about the citizens and the law and the Constitution.
Well, this nation was built on the backs of immigrants, sir. Your grandparents and mine.
Outrageous contact and what cheap political tricks you use to defame the American people and the rule of law.
Look at
this gives us a very good indication of just what a volatile issue this is. The courts are going to decide this, but we do appreciate you coming in and giving us your sides of the story. Michael Wilds and State Senator